bartenders, 20%, the droids and bounty hunters, the Raylos. No right nobodies is going to be maybe short and sweet. I'm not sure because it just depends on how long I can keep my eyes open because I'm tired. Anyway, wanted to talk a little bit about some news. Anyway, a secret squirrel friend of mine sent me the link that I attached to this video, basically saying that Indiana Jones 5 was going to start filming at Bamberg Castle in Surrey, England. I think it's Surrey. Somebody else can correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, and I had been led to believe, as I think others, that Indy 5 wasn't supposed to, hello Chris, wasn't supposed to start filming until July or August. Now, I don't know how long they expect principal photography to go. Because usually they do, hey H Boomer, they usually go locations, and I know I've seen the locations list, which was England, Scotland, Sicily, Tunisia, which sounds like John Rhys Davies is going to be in the movie, reprising his solo role. In Utah, I think. I saw Utah, I don't know how. But the castle, the Bamberg Castle, has some interesting connections to the Last Crusade. Howdy, Matt Piranha, and the Holy Grail, and Arthur. And what I think, I'm going to tell you guys this, what I think it's about is going to be Excalibur. All right, and so I think it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. But they're starting months early. In fact, I uploaded, I saw 2 pictures that I stole of Harrison Ford at a pub in near where they're going to start filming. He's already there. So I don't know what this means. They want to get this movie done. But here's what I think it means. If, let's say it's a 5-month shoot, we've got June, July, August, September, October. At the end, the end of production, it wraps in October. Hey, Chris, I don't know, Chris. Hey, Bone. If it's a 4-month shoot, it ends in September. Whose contract is over in October? On the 31st of October? Kennedy's. So I think you can look at this as being another indication of what Kathleen Kennedy is, where she is with Lucasfilm. Obviously, the rumor was she's going to spend most of her time on the Indiana Jones 5 set, making people coffee, I assume. Her and her husband. I mean, Frank Marshall really wanted to make this movie. I think Harrison Ford did too. I don't, we've got, a lot of people are poo-pooing it, and I'm like, look, James Mangold is a great director, and he's a pretty good writer. He did Logan. If you remember Copland, do you remember Copland? There you go. So, it's, yeah, she can make him a sandwich. You're right, Dakari. So, I'm not really concerned about, Kojak, come here. Lay down on the floor. Come on. Come here. Can you hear him? I'm not really concerned about the writing or the story being woke. And the reason is this: I don't think Ford would tolerate it. You know, I really don't. Yeah, they are good movies. I mean, he's a Mangold would have done Boba Fett well, I think. But you know, this moving up the timeline to get it going is very interesting. I mean, Harrison Ford just was a couple weeks ago finished a 1,000-mile bike ride between from Tijuana to I think down to Cancun, I think, or wherever it was. I mean, holy crap! In Mexico, of course. You know, you're kind of hoping that there's armed police escorts with that because you know it's just really interesting to me. I think that this is all happening now. So let's go to the timeline. Gina gets told she's no longer part of Lucasfilm publicly. I'm not going to use the fire word anymore because she doesn't work for them anyway. Okay, they just want to tell everybody. I think. Then we get a month later that Forbes article, and you know the ratio going on with Kennedy, it is still going on. Then we get what else happened? Then we get the Variety article. Then we get the announcement that Filoni has a new job. He's number 3 at Lucasfilm. And now this, you know, these are indications that there's something definitely happening. And of course, the other thing I want to talk about, I went and looked on Twitter to see what Pablo's doing, and he got really mad at, you know, he didn't really reply himself, but it looks to me 2 troll accounts, the same person, told the guy that kind of got in Pablo's face to F off. You know, basically, F you, no one cares. Okay. And it was a guy with like 30 followers. And then another guy with very few. A brand new account. Literally. Just made. So that tells me that, yeah, someone took umbrage and wanted to really say what he wanted to say. And I think, you know, I 50-50 that was Pablo. We all know he's a troll. So we'll have to see, because he no, I haven't looked, and I'm not gonna look. I don't have a Twitter anymore, Bone. I can go in and see what they're saying, though. I can go in and look at tweets, and I have friends that send me links to the account and everything. But I after President Trump got banned because Jack Dorsey's a bitch. Oh, that guy's a weirdo. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm done. I'm done. And I'd had trouble with Twitter for a while anyway. I mean, I had an account that was 3,000 followers, and I had a lot of good friends and blue checks that were good friends of mine following me. And I started running afoul of these Raylos that just started appearing on Twitter. And this one who basically took Enfy's Nest and made it about herself. I'm a trans. You have to admire me for being a trans. I am brave and stunning, that kind of shit. And I'm like, you know, all right, you're hot. You just go sleeping at night. You know, I basically went off on her and said, if you want to do something about this, go make up your own space opera. No one can. What do you want, a parade? And I got banned. And then I had a few other accounts, and I ran afoul of Raylos, and then the last one was a guy who, interestingly enough, very small account, in the day that Pablo got himself in all kinds of trouble with Star Wars theory, the guy disappeared off of Twitter. He went, so I don't know who that was, but I'd always heard from other people who've been, you know, part of this deal for a lot longer than me, that Pablo liked to go on. I don't know, Boomer. I don't know. It would be interesting to find out that Pablo liked going on to, like on social media and trolling people and with different accounts. They kind of figured out it was him. And, so it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it wouldn't. And I know I sound paranoid. I keep talking about him. But you guys got to understand that I'm not talking about just my own experiences. I'm talking about what other people have told me. Okay? I'm talking about stuff I've seen myself. All right? This is something, there's something really wrong with this guy, to be perfectly frank. And it's really interesting to me watching this all kind of explode. But the fact that the reaction by the two accounts that don't seem too legit were so nasty, I would say that, yeah, we're going to see a big, not just changes at Lucasfilm, but big ones. I mean, it's happening. I think, moving up Indy 5 now, I mean, no fanfare, no word about it. We just, all of a sudden you see people in England going, I think they're filming Indy 5 at Bamberg Castle. Well, honestly, because I know people that they're gonna try to get to see it, and see who shows up. If George shows up, it's a win. And Spielberg could, because he's a hands-on producer, and I know he's trying to get that stupid movie, that musical that he directed. He's trying to get that thing ready to be distributed, but this is kind of a big deal for the three of them. I mean, who would ever thought they were going to do 5? I mean, when Last Crusade is almost the perfect ending, and it should have ended there. And I understand why people say that. The last one was, disappointing for a lot of reasons. I think most of it was Shia LaBeouf, and Karen Allen. I don't know what happened to her, but you have people that it's almost like people are going through the motions. And honestly, I understand what George is trying to tell us in that movie, and I understand why he's so fascinated with aliens landing on Earth, millennia ago, to people who wouldn't really understand, with no technology, so to speak, or very, very rough technology. You be careful, don't slip on the floor. He's got to get his toenails clipped. I understand what he was trying to say, so I'm not upset about any of that. Well, Bone, that's fine. I am. Okay. I'm shocked they're making another one. But, this thing has all the indications of being a pretty good movie. I mean, when people say I'm not really hyped up for it, oh, I liked Logan. I liked Copland. The same guy who directed those movies is directing this. And he's also writing the script. Yeah, aged. I agree. So I don't see, again, you don't know what the suits said and how far they thought they could go. If the movie had been made 10 years before, I think you might have actually had something like that. But Hollywood is weird. I mean, 20 years ago, in in like 1997, we were celebrating Tibet. Now Tibetans are all in camps, and no one in Hollywood gives a fuck. But the Dalai Lama gets feted from one place to another. However, the people that actually stuck up for him, Richard Gere can't work now because of China. Melissa Matheson, God bless her soul, passed away in 2012. You know, and like back in the 90s, Kojak, come on. Quit screwing around. Lay down. Come on, lay down. You're hot. You just came in from playing. This dog, I'm telling you, man, he's a canine perpetual motion machine. But like back in the 90s, if you watched a movie about the Russians, or let's say like you were watching Jag, the Russians were portrayed as good guys. Okay, I guess. Because of what was going on. The Russian Revolution, la la la. They might have just picked up Doomcock, but I kind of look at it this way. If they did, they did. If they didn't, they didn't. It's another person out there. It's another source out there saying this. I'm kind of, I think, I'm going to say this, I mean, really, I'm predicting there's a lot to this. Cameron predicted 4 years ago Georgia would put financials, would buy Lucasfilm back. And it wouldn't surprise me at all. And to the people who say, no, he won't make it back, you don't know what deal they make. And please, don't project your grudges on a guy you don't know. This is his legacy, okay? This is his baby, and they've ruined it. And if they're asking him, please come and help us, why wouldn't he? I want control. I want creative control. I'm going to put money into this. I want creative control. Because they can fix it if they listen to him. They can fix it. Okay. First off, Star Wars isn't dead. It's a franchise. Okay. Second of all, once you get the right combination of creators and production people together, it's unstoppable. You can't stop it. Now, and the thing about it is you can't get too complex. You can't be an auteur, Ryan Johnson, and direct a Star Wars movie. You can't. You can't make, what was it? The difference between Eric von Stroheim, who was a great director, but he was a freak. And I don't think he was nearly the director that John Ford was. And the difference between him and John Ford. John Ford was a simple storyteller who was very self-aware, and he could self-edit when he had to. Stroheim wanted to put everything into it. Okay. When you think about that, you have to have a director like John Ford for movies like Star Wars, like Indiana Jones. Okay, the story can't be convoluted. Okay, it can't be convoluted. It just and when you look at TFA, it was a mess. I mean, and the thing about it is, come here, come, Kojak, come. I mean, when people call JJ a politician, they're right. He is. He's a politician. He's an absolute politician. Okay. When they call and Ryan Johnson, he thinks he's a great director. Will you lay down? Will you lay down? Come here. Come on, lay down. I mean, Ryan thinks he's an auteur. He thinks he's an artist, and he's a crappy artist. If I don't want to see anything he's ever made. I mean, I don't even, it's one of those things where you look at him and go, who the fuck do you think you are? Alfred Hitchcock? Shut up. Go sit down. And the same thing with JJ. JJ has been given a free ride ever since Regarding Henry. And Regarding Henry, will you quit licking my Fitbit? Regarding Henry, in my opinion, was a fantastic movie. And they missed the boat when they didn't nominate Ford for an Academy Award. Because he was really good in that movie. Okay. JJ's strength lies in writing things that are smaller in scope. I mean, if you look at TFA, the galaxy's that big. Everybody ends up on Jakku. I mean, Starkiller Base is next door. Then we got Batu over here or whatever. We got Takadona and wherever, I can't even remember the planet Leia had the Resistance on. But it's that big. There's no, when A New Hope came out, we knew the Empire was bad. We saw a little bit about the, lay down. Hey, Valiant Renegade. I'm sorry I didn't mention you on Tom's stream, but I was overwhelmed a little bit, and I'm blonde. And anyway, thank you for showing up here. But when you look at it, he shrunk the galaxy. When you look at A New Hope, we got a glimpse of just how big it was. I mean, we knew how big it was. Even from looking at the desolation of Tatooine, we knew how big it really was. And we get into The Empire Strikes Back, it gets bigger. And then when we get into Return of the Jedi, it gets way bigger, okay? And then in our episode 1 through 3, it's massive. It's massive because that was the underpinnings for what we saw on 4 through 6. But when we get to TFA, it gets itty bitty, just itty bitty. You can fit it all in the head of a needle. Like, okay, fine. It's stupid, but okay. And then with The Last Jedi, what the, the lack of world building, the lack of story, the lack of character development, the lack of any reason for anything happening, and then dipshit goes, well, I really didn't care about Snoke. I really wanted to concentrate on Kylo Ren. He was the one that interested me the most. Why, daddy hater? Because, I'm saying it's psychological. The people who are drawn to that character, there's something wrong with them. They're bent, and not in a good way. And it was just stupid. It wasn't Star Wars. I mean, it was like they opened up a can of acid, all took it, had a trip, and, decided to throw whatever that was in there. I mean, and if anybody thinks the side trip to the casino planet was world building, I've got some oceanfront property in Waterloo, Iowa to sell you, okay? Cheap. And then we get to The Rise of Skywalker, and it's just dumb. It's just, it gets worse. It doesn't have any familiarity for any of us. We're like, what the hell are we watching? And it was bad. Bad storytelling, bad characters, and really lousy set pieces. So it's all about giving the fans something new, but keeping familiar things. You understand? And these people just did a shitty job. And you really don't blame George for being upset. I mean, he trusted Kathy, and Kathy had her head shoved up her ass all the time. And, she was admiring herself too much. And I'm going to tell people, if they think that she's still the most powerful woman in Hollywood, come on. Come on. You don't have, I don't really need it to be confirmed that she's lost a lot of prestige to know she has. She hasn't, no one has heard a word from her. No one. She's literally, he's trying to untie my shoes now. Will you stop? Quit licking my Fitbit. She's literally just disappeared. I mean, you can't be one of the top tier people in Hollywood and go, yeah, we're going to listen to her. They don't have to even say what an utter failure she's been to she is. And I can't see where she's still part of that or regarded with that. I mean, it's baffling to me. And if she is, it's like, what the fuck are you people smoking? Because I want some. I don't, we're going to have to find out. They will announce staff changes. I don't know if Valiant Renegade knew this, but somebody, not on my bidding, went and confronted Pablo about Kathy. When she leaves, are you going to leave? Or maybe you should leave earlier. That might be best. And he gave a very, very, very interesting, eye-opening reply. After 20 years, I don't have any plans, and I don't know what hers are. So my theory is that he's being pushed out. They're like, you have to go now. We can't do this anymore. And when you think about it, they really can't help it. They have to do something because he's terrible. He is awful, okay? And it's not a bad thing to think that way. I mean, you run a company and you got an employee that's not doing their job, Just a minute. Kojak. I feel like Tom with his cat. Kojak, come here. Come over here. You don't have to walk around the house. I trust him not, okay? I trust him not. Lay down. Just lay down. I don't know why he's so restless. And I'm not going to be on that long, probably just a few more minutes. But I did want to kind of come and talk about this because it's very interesting to me that they moved up this filming and, what's going on with Pablo. And I really think that we're going to hear about that. We're going to hear about the staff changes because, Deadline Hollywood, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadspin. Oh, he just came inside. He just, he was just, I think he wants to go upstairs and go to bed. That's what I think. And Mommy's not ready. Anyway, but Daddy, my husband went to bed earlier and I don't want to, just a minute. Will you come here? Come here. Kojak, you're doing this. What he's doing what kids do when they see adults on the phone. He's doing everything he can to distract me. You can just stay here. Stay, okay? Just stay. I don't want to leave him in his kennel upstairs as that long, So I kind of look out for this little guy. And my horse says hello to everybody. She was eating hay, getting it in her water bowl. I had to take it out. And you know, uninterested. If I don't have treats, she doesn't know me. I'm not kidding. I'm not. She's just, well, she's a mare. She's not a bad mare, but we've had our discussions. You know, but she's a good girl. But anyway, I really do think that this moving up of the timeline for Indy 5 is an indication of something going on. Okay, and it all leads to Kennedy. I also believe we're going to hear something publicly about the story group. Now, I haven't gone and looked to see what Matt Martin's doing because he's as bad as the rest of them, and I haven't gone to see what Mrs. Hidalgo is doing. Kristen, or Kay Hidalgo, as she calls herself on Twitter. But you know, you can't keep these guys around. I mean, and the funny thing about it is, this is a guy who spent the last 8 years crapping all over the EU, showing his collection of books, reference books, novels from the EU. I want you to marinate in that. Okay. So now we have to wonder, was he really one of the people behind it? Because, hey, you know, the Star Wars history Twitter was full on giving him kudos for helping get rid of the EU. Why? I don't understand why they hate the EU unless it's some sort of weird political thing. You know, which with SJWs, you know, they're like cockroaches. They're fucking everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you can't walk 10 feet in media without stepping on 15 of them. You know, so I don't really, I mean, I'm like, but you hate that series of books. You know? But yeah, I think the reaction that he had to that tweeter, and then the subsequent reaction of 2 other, obviously troll accounts, was very telling. All right, very, very, very telling. So I wanted to get the news out about Indy 5. Go and look at the, I put a link in the description. Made sure everybody that needed to know knows. But yeah, there's shit going down. There's definitely shit going down. Okay? And that is now plain to me. That's very plain to me. And anyway, I gotta go, all right? Because I'm tired, and I'm gonna read a book, and we got tons of stuff to do tomorrow. I've got an eye exam, getting new glasses, getting new contacts. So you all be good, and I will see you tomorrow sometime. I don't know. I should probably have a set time to do these, like about 8 o'clock at night. I mean, here's the deal. You guys go in the comments and tell me if 8 o'clock at night for a live stream and around 10 o'clock in the morning, so I can do like 2 a day. If that was okay, I would do that in a heartbeat. Okay. Anyway, 2 a day if something's going on. Okay. But 8 o'clock, I'll do a regular one at both of them if I have to. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I gotta go. And oh yeah, it was really fun on the Midnight's Edge stream. I got to hang out with Tom and Andre and all the guys. It was really great. I finally actually got to talk to them. They got to see my face. I got to see them, and it was cool. But anyway, very fun, very cool. And Valiant Renegade was there, and that was great. I'd love to do a live stream with him and talk about the business aspects of all this shit. And you guys have a great night. Okay, see you around the galaxy.